Welcome to season 2 of the Literacy Lounge. We are so pleased with the response to the first season and we can't wait to continue chatting with you all. Whether you're in your car on the way to work or you're having that hot drink at the end of the day, we really hope you're enjoying the content and finding it useful. And we've had a good think about what you might want to listen to this season. But in this episode, we decided to go back to school. Those 6 weeks, and I mean, let's face it, it's not really 6 weeks anymore for a lot of people. They've flown by in a blur of catching up with your friends and family and tackling that long list of admin to-do list you've got. You know, you've had your back to school haircut. You've maybe got your new stationery ready and you've printed off your name labels for your new class. But you might also have thought you've forgotten how to teach. You can't remember what the start of the year looks like. And then you're panicking about whether your classroom is ready. And I know I've definitely done all of those things. But don't worry, because we're here and Louise is here with me and we've got you covered. What we're going to do is we're going to share some back to school tips for you and also some amusing tales of September survival. So welcome back to Louise.
Thank you.
Did you have a nice summer?
I did. I always loved being off in the summer, but yeah, it's great to spend that time away from the classroom and away from the office and switch off a bit.
It is. I think it's really needed. I get asked an awful lot, and I don't know if you do. I get asked by schools, do you have the summer off? Do you get some time? And we do, don't we? Yeah. But we also use that time to update the units. We've been doing a lot of that, haven't we? Yeah. Always busy. We have this phrase, summer jobs.
Yeah.
That'll be a summer job.
And then the summer job is massive, isn't it?
It is massive. So we've spent a lot of time updating the pathways to write units so that everybody's got those ready. And that's going to be obviously really exciting.
And we always kind of cross paths a bit, don't we? Because we're in and out. Some take the beginning off, some take the end off. So we don't see each other as much over the summer, do we?
No, but it's nice and quiet when you do come into the office. And it is nice catching up with people. And you still get to go home and it's a little bit light. So, going back to thinking about being a teacher, what was September like for you?
I was just going to pick up on what you said before, that you do forget how to write, don't you? To hold a pencil, and you think you've completely forgotten how to teach. But I love September, and I think September's always been my favourite half term because I'm such an autumn lover anyway. As much as I love summer, I do like it when it heads into autumn and Halloween and coziness and building up to winter. But I just like that I wasn't tired. I'd had that break. I like everything new and fresh. I had my new autumn clothes. I had my new diary. I knew my class were coming. Eager faces, everything, new books. I liked all that newness of the autumn term. All those eager faces and everything was really fresh.
I didn't used to like a completely new book because I used to be terrified of them putting the pencil down. And that first page in a new book was always a little bit, what's it going to look like?
Yeah, you don't want it to look a mess, do you? But then when you look back later on in the year, that first page, you realise that they've made that massive progress. And that September pay is always really good after you've had that whole summer holiday, and it's been a long time since the 15th of August payday. The September pay is good. But I really like September. And I know lots of teachers will say, autumn's hard because it's two really long half terms, isn't it? It's generally 2 7 weekers or a 6 and a 7. But I always really enjoy teaching in the autumn term because you're teaching new things. The kids are always like really eager to be back, and it's just like a fresh start.
You can get out and about a bit more as well, can't you? I think in the summer you can go outside with the class, but it's been too hot, hasn't it? Yeah. So I like that September time
weather.
where so you can still get them out and about and still be doing things and having that extra breathing space as well.
I think like new pencils, they're all sharpened, aren't they? They're not blunt yet. You've not lost them. You've got glue. So everything's fresh, isn't it?
But this is when you are really, really specific about put the lid on the glue, put the lid on the whiteboard pen. You're trying to keep everything. Did you ever there was always somebody that was very good at hoarding their stationery
definitely.
for the year.
Yeah.
So I remember that you could go to the stockroom cupboard and get what you needed, and then people were like squirreling it away. There's always someone that's got a good...
We sometimes, one of the schools that I worked in, they used to share everything out at the beginning of the year. It wasn't like a central place because they knew people would squirrel things away.
Yeah.
Everything was shared out, and that was what you had for the year.
So you had to keep hold of it.
Yeah, it was funny.
And I've been, sorry guys, I was going to say, when I was in schools before we broke up, I went into some a little bit late, which I know that you have as well, and I could see the book orders.
Yeah.
All piled up,
ready.
Piled up. The
labels going on.
Yes.
Yeah. Old books going home. It's a fun time of year, but there's some hard parts, I suppose, about September as well, isn't there?
There are. So what are some of the trickier bits?
I think it's getting back into that routine, isn't it? Especially if you've had that summer off, you've got used to having those lie-ins, like getting back up for you and the children. It is hard to kind of get back in that routine.
It's even nice to find, because you can eat and that whenever you want when you're off. Going back to that, you can only go to the toilet at certain points again. It's hard for a teacher as well as the children.
To retrain your bladder, don't you, for playtime and lunchtime. But I think you don't realise how far your last class have come, do you, till you meet your new class? And then not always in terms of like progress, but in terms of like asking them to do things like get your pencils out, like they know to tidy up and where things are. All of that's hard at the start of the year, getting your expectations and your rules in place just so that you can, the logistics really to get on with your teaching.
So that was one of my memories of a new class in a new school, and I'd got my classroom ready and I'd set it all out, and I'd got all the the things for them to come in to keep them busy in year one, and this class came in like a swarm of locusts and they opened every cupboard and they pulled all sorts out. And I was just stood there going, oh my goodness, I'd set it all up with all these like nice little challenges and they just pulled everything out.
Yeah.
And
made a mess.
Yeah, and it's obviously stuck with me.
And especially, if you're in early years or you've got provision, like you put all your nice new provision out and then straight away it's gone, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
But I do think it's a hard half term, isn't it? Because, straight away at that beginning of the year, you have those target setting meetings, don't you? You have all those safeguarding meetings, getting to know you. It's a busy start and it's already kind of set your stall of this is what we're doing for the year. But I think if you work hard in September, especially around relationships and behaviour, the rest of the year is easier, isn't it? Like, don't let anything slip that first half term, because they notice, don't they? And they know that they'll get away with things.
Well, that's the don't smile till Christmas.
Yeah.
I was told that a lot of times, don't smile till Christmas. And anyone that's watched and seen these or seen me present, it's really hard for me not to smile. No. So I was smiling well before Christmas. You know what you mean by that. And that you mean by, set your expectations, don't you, behaviour. And I think it's sometimes a honeymoon period, isn't it? And I think I've been in a school this week, actually, and we sometimes did that, where they've done early transition. So the last kind of 3 weeks in the summer term, they've already moved up now. So September's really smooth, isn't it? That's quite nice.
They've met the teacher, they've been in the new classroom, they know the expectations, so they've not got that, the children have not got that anxiety over the summer, and teachers know the children a bit better. I think the only way I ever had it done was that one day or that morning that you don't really do much, do you, with
swap.
them?
No, I always used to get them to draw a little picture of themselves, because it was a nice thing to do, but also, and you'll know from your early years, it's a really good indicator, isn't it, of how they draw themselves, of their kind of like fine motor. So I used to do that with them and have a little chat
It's a nice display as well, isn't it?
And have a little chat about the things that they were interested in. But I do like it when schools do that and make that early transition. Yeah.
I'm not sure what parents feel about it. But, because they don't get that end of yearness with the last day in that year group. But I think as terms of making progress and relationships with teachers, I think it works really well.
And when you said about that, the relieving of the anxiety, I think making those relationships with parents is really important as well, because a lot of anxiety does come from that, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And they get used to their teacher and used to the teachers listening to them as parents. And then there is that worry. Because there's always playground chat, isn't there, about, they're going into the strict teachers class this year. And you need to break down those barriers as well. So what tips would you give someone then if they were starting afresh in September? Not just new class, but it's their
brand
first
new
job.
Teaching.
Brand new teaching.
I think you've always got to remember why you went into the job in the first place. It's such a wonderful career, isn't it, that you're making such an impact on millions of children's lives. And it can be really tough, can't it? You're going to have weeks, you're going to be tired, there's going to be data meetings, you might not hit targets, it's going to be tough. But I think you've always got to kind of take that step back and think, why did I become a teacher in the first place? And hopefully that's because you want to kind of work with children. And I always feel like the 9 till 3, being in the classroom with the children, it is the best part of the day. The before and the after and the planning and the meetings is kind of all of the add-on. But I think it's remember why you did it in the first place would be my first kind of top tip.
Yes.
Other things I would say, that you need to make the classroom your own. I think I always did that, whether it was a shopping trip to IKEA and getting nice things. You need the classroom to feel somewhere that you're comfortable teaching in, that's got your things, you know where things are. And I know that from when I've done PPA, and when you're trying to teach in someone else's classroom, it doesn't feel the same, and you've got to feel confident as a teacher in the environment that you're in, haven't you?
Yeah, I do remember crying moving into a classroom and that was going to be mine, and opening this cupboard, and there was so much stuff to sort out.
I know.
Lots and lots of empty, big ring binder, just empty.
That's been left, and you've got to deal with it.
Yeah, all left. And it can be overwhelming, can't it? You want your first classroom, but it can be overwhelming. And the other thing I found difficult was knowing what to keep and what not to keep. So because somebody had stored it away, I thought, it must be important. And it's never coming out.
No, and they think you could have a stock cupboard, can't you, and it's full of loads of stuff. And I think if I've not used it for 2 years, it can go.
But if you knew, you might not know that. And I was talking to somebody recently who has been sorting out a cupboard, and she had all these pictures of the like really old, like 100 science lessons and all of those kind of books that somebody's put away. But it can be hard to know what's not needed anymore.
Definitely.
I've never ever looked back at planning. I mean, that's even when you used to print it all out. I don't think I've ever looked back at planning.
But you just keep it just in case, don't you? But then you end up one summer thinking, right, we'll sort all of that out. I think getting to know your pupils' names as quickly as possible is really supportive for the pupils. As soon as they know that you know their name, rather than you have to keep saying, what's your name? So I think knowing the names is really important.
And also if they've got like a shortened version, or is the
Jacob
a Jacob or is he a Jake? And you need to get that as well, don't you?
And I think relationships are massive. I remember when I first started my NQT year, it was called then, somebody said to me, make good relationships with the teaching assistants and the maintenance officer. And I was like, why? And the teaching assistant, like we said before, they know everything. They know where the glue is, they know where the books are, they know all the families, know the children. So they're great to kind of know, because they know where everything is. And the maintenance officer as well, it goes a long way to have a relationship with them. If you need a shelf moving, you want something putting up or something heavy to carry, they will go out of the way to help you. So I think definitely making relationships when you settle in your first
like
setting.
You said, members of staff that are part of the local community, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
As well. They used to come and make sure I'd shut my windows at night. I was terrible for leaving the windows open, but they would always come and do a final check that I had actually shut my windows.
And I think, I was really eager when I was when it was my first year of teaching, and I feel like I knew everything, I'd been a TA, but then it's very different when it's your class. And I would say still take on the advice that the other people are giving you, whether you use it or you're not, but the experienced teachers can go a long way with helping you. And I think don't expect everything straight away. It's a marathon, isn't it? Getting to the end of the year, not a sprint. You will see progress, but you don't have to teach everything that first half term.
As you were talking, I was thinking, I'm going to say soon, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And there you go, you've said it. Yes, it is, because you're going to burn yourself out as well, aren't you?
Definitely.
You can't do a really early start and a late finish because you want to show you're eager all the way through. You've got to kind of have those boundaries, otherwise you are just going to burn yourself out.
And I think building up on that burn yourself out, ECTs, I would stock up on your vitamins and your paracetamols, because you will catch everything that first half term. And maybe don't plan a lot for October, because you'll be tired and you'll be resting, and then you'll get through that first term and you'll feel better when you get going.
And you will be poorly in the holidays. It's just a given, isn't it? Because your immune system needs that rest. But yes, you've got to build up that immunity.
And I think you always remember your first class. I remember my first class quite fondly, and you see them as they go through school, because they're your first class, aren't they? And I remember a lot of my teachers. So, it's just having that impact and building relationships. And I think, starting such a great career, aren't you? If you're just going into teaching.
Yeah, and you will then get to July and you'll forget what September's like, which is everything that we've just said.
And then you have to start again.
And then you have to start again. And you will never get your classroom perfect.
No.
You have to accept you'll never get it perfect. There's always something. And that teacher to-do list
is endless.
It's endless. Yeah,
I
you'll
used
never
to
get to the end of it.
do my to-do list and I'd cross things off, but when it got really busy, I'd write a new list because I felt better on a new piece of paper with a new list. But it's an endless list, isn't it?
It is. I've been tidying up at home and I've found old journals and notebooks of mine with all the lists of saying, planning and what assessments I'm doing, that weekly kind of.
Oh, I've got boxes in my garage of books and like lever arch files that you said before, but I don't know what I'm doing with them. But I've just kept them in case we have a complete curriculum change and we go back that many years to things that we did.
Well, yeah, I think all the stuff I've got will eventually be 2 curriculums ago when the new one comes out. So I suppose you may have covered this, but were you given any random advice? We've said about the don't smile until Christmas.
We've talked a little bit about glue sticks, haven't we? I was always told, limit your glue sticks, don't give them out, even if it's one a table. They share it because we get to the end of the year and everything's hanging out books and you run out of glue. Yeah. Somebody said to me, children will take your blue tack and things will fall off displays, and I was like, they won't, but they did. And I think moving on with the times now, blue tack became a bit of a fidget, didn't it? They liked it to play with, but now we've got so many fidgets.
They don't need your blue tack anymore.
Hopefully displays are not falling down as much as they used to. One logical bit of advice I was always given was to be organised, and I would say you always need to be organised. Have your slides open for the start of the day, have your lessons ready, because something could happen in the middle of the day where someone has to come in and cover your class and you want things to be organised. The photocopier never works. It always jams, doesn't it? Don't rely on having to photocopy something at 8:30 in the morning before your lesson. The same as a laminator, that gets stuck, doesn't it? So make sure that you're ready for your lessons and you're fully resourced before then.
And that can be done at the end of the day. I think it is worth getting that stuff ready at the end of the day. And I know that probably I have come flying in and thought, I've got to get this done. But if you can get it all sorted at the end of the day, it does help. Because also, if you're not prepared, that tiny second that you take, you can just lose them, can't you?
Definitely. And, things that you said before about like training your bladder, you can only go to the toilet at break time and lunchtime. Get a insulated cup, because you're definitely going to be drinking cold drinks, and a lot of health and safety now, you need cups with lids on anyway in classrooms, don't you? Getting used to eating kind of on the go and standing up and not sitting down and having lunch, because you'll be doing your marking through lunchtime.
Although it is, if you can get to the staff room,
it's nice to have a break.
It is nice. We used to have like a morning tea group as well. So those of us that were tea drinkers, we'd get there at a certain amount of time and to get the morning cup of tea in our flasks. And if somebody hadn't, then the others would go around and say, come on, and make sure you get that drink, because you could just stay in your classroom, from morning till night, couldn't you really, if you had to.
When I was in early years, I was always told, day one, make sure that children's jumpers and cardigans have names on, so you're not that parent that's coming in day 2, they've lost a brand new jumper and it's exactly the same as the 29 others in the classroom, and they expect you to be able to find it. So making sure that you've got names in jumpers and things.
PE pumps as well.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how, they just disappear, don't they?
Yeah. Everything, they disappear and then they turn up, don't they? Yeah. ECTs, I'd probably say double check if you're allowed to use glitter when it comes to Christmas and things, because they're the wrath of the cleaner when because schools always have those carpets that are like rigid, aren't they, and the glitter goes in between and then it's weeks hoovering up, and they won't be your friend if you've had glitter and glue out.
I am guilty of that, and I used to put chalk on the drawer on the floor all the time in chalk. Let's sort ourselves, like great big sorting circles. Yeah, I think I just about got away with it.
Funny. And I think just remembering that pupils don't forget anything that you've said. If you say, right, we can have an extra playtime for doing this, and you don't, they'll hold you to it, don't they?
You've just kind
of, top tips, whatever you've said, kind of stick with it, because they won't forget what you've said.
Yeah. I mean, it is very much like parenting, isn't it? You're probably same as me. When we started out teaching, we weren't parents, and I think then being a parent, it does change.
Oh yeah, just change how
you are. Yes.
how you think in the classroom.
Obviously, the September inset is a biggie, and we ourselves now we see it from the other side, don't we? We go and deliver them, and you just know that everyone just wants to catch up, don't you? It can be hard to go in on that first day back. Not quite as bad as the Christmas one.
No,
doing the first day back in
hard.
January is hard. But that September inset, is there anything that stood out for you, either, teacher or consultant?
I think, as a consultant, again, I love September and autumn. I always love doing those back to school insets because, everyone's had a break. They're all eager.
They've received their books from Peters. Yeah. They're all ready to
You're
work
often
on.
introducing something new to them. It goes a long way to bring snacks, doesn't it? But often they're all like, I'm on healthy eating now after the summer. But I think as a consultant, it's kind of not making it too heavy for them, giving them, at the end of the day, it's all they want to do is get organised, don't they? They want to be in the classroom, they want to look at the units, and they want to be prepared and plan for the lesson. So making it as useful as possible, I would say, from our point of view as consultants. Yeah. I think as a teacher and a subject leader as insets, I've done a variety of different insets, and there's always the kind of corporate ones, isn't there? Timetables, when are we using the hall, who's doing PE, your standard kind of safeguarding one, playtime rotas that you have to do. But there was always kind of an element of setting expectations, setting behaviour.
Sometimes I've had one that has been new behaviour policy.
And
like
again, lots of them you have to tick a box in and get them done, but teachers want the afternoon to be in the classrooms, don't they? But I've also done lots of like nice team building ones, especially if we've had new staff or we've joined an academy. We did duck herding once, which was fun. We did like a treasure hunt, and then there was different activities to do, and one of them was duck herding, which was quite fun. But I think there's always those cringe ones as well that some might love, but I always hated, where you had to stand up and like kind of know two truths about you, or say something about what you've done or about you at an inset, that I always found a bit cringy.
I remember, and I can't remember what we did, but we had to order ourselves around the hall.
Was it birthdays or ages? I've done something like that.
I think it was more about your perception of yourself, and you had to order yourself, and then it came out being like, oh well, you over there, you're the alphas then, because you've battled to get to the front. And it was more about personalities, but nobody knew it at the time.
I think we always used to try and mix people around, because everyone, if you're in a big school particularly, everyone kind of sits in the phases, like key stage 1 sit together, key stage 2. We used to do a bit, right, everyone move around, talk to someone else, because when school starts and the day's busy, even if you're in a big school, you never see anyone. You can go, or I could go all day without seeing anyone in key stage 2 when I was in key stage 1, and vice versa. So insets and staff meets were always nice to see the wider team, weren't they?
Well, I've got a couple of stories that other people have shared as well about this. So someone's told us about their first assembly back after the summer holidays, like a bit like you just said. So whole school assembly, every teacher then was asked about what they'd done on their holiday by the head teacher. So I think a lot of them were probably having to rack their brains about what can I say? I can't say that I was going to the fridge at 6 o'clock all the time. But so that's a bit, you'd have found that a bit cringe, would you?
Yeah, I would. I'd have to be prepared know it was happening, so I knew what I could say.
There's another one, a bit more down the well-being route, but it involved meditating whilst holding chocolate in your mouth.
Oh, is it an inset?
As an inset, yeah.
Okay.
So chocolate
ideas out there for anyone who's not done their inset yet.
I don't know how they both work together, whether it was to savour the chocolate. I don't know. I might have to look into that a little bit more. We've just done a chocolate workshop as a team for wellbeing, and that was good fun. And they got us tasting it, and she did say savour it. Another one was, and this would be really tough if you were new to the school, going round and rating each other's classrooms from an Ofsted perspective.
Oh gosh,
that would be. I wouldn't want to do that.
No, you wouldn't want to get the feedback, would you? If you
spent the summer setting up your classroom,
and then someone says, "Oh, it's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like an October-y one, maybe not a September one.
No, maybe not
Bit
a
of time
September
to settle.
one. And then another one, somebody was stung the night before starting a new job multiple times. They didn't want to say whereabouts they were stung, but then they had to sit through the September inset in a new job, feeling very uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
Because they were covered in, well, it must be a wasp, mustn't it? Wasp stings.
Oh, gosh.
That's I do remember going back to one after having my son and sitting there and thinking, my brain's not working anymore.
Yeah.
So I remember going back to a September inset, going back and thinking, I can't think. And
there's always someone that's flight's been delayed and they're stuck on holiday, or
a
child that turns up on the inset day when they're not due until the day after.
Yeah, you always get that buzzer at the door, don't you? And someone saying, oh, the so-and-sos are here.
Yeah.
I still see on Facebook all the time, anyone know the school holiday dates? I'm thinking, just go online.
Yeah.
Just go and find them. Also, you always get, going back to the start of the term, either a child that you weren't expecting in your classroom.
Yes.
So they're not on the list. They've had a last minute switch.
Yeah.
And so obviously then you feel bad because they've not got a peg, not got a tray.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about them. But equally you get that child that hasn't turned up and then turns up a week later, looking rather tanned.
Yes.
Tells you they've been ill, but
they've got the cheaper holiday the last week of the summer.
They've got nice hair braid.
Yeah.
Maybe a henna tattoo. And I was poorly, and okay, yeah. So there's lots of things about September that people have shared with us as well. I think that was the main ones really.
I've got lots of things that people have shared that they say quite a lot in the classroom.
Okay. Oh yes, that's a good one.
So there might be things that you've not said all summer, but you get back into the habit of saying them. So I'll share them and you can see if you say them. This is one I used to say all the time in Key Stage 1. Why is this wet? Like they'd hold my hand, or they'd give me the book or shoelaces, and they'd be wet, and I'd be like,
the jumpers.
Why are they wet? Jumpers. Yeah, everything's and you're not quite sure. Is that a good choice?
Okay,
but you've said that. I'll wait. I think that's something, when you're ready to do your input and you're sick of saying, right, it's everyone, you just like, I'll wait. And you just have that awkward silence while you're waiting. And these are some good tips for ECTs, aren't they, of things they might say. Another one, is anybody listening? You might feel that you say that quite a lot. That's not how we sit on a chair.
Yes. Or you could just insert it. That's not how we, sit in
assembly,
sit in a chair, sit on the carpet.
Show good listening.
Yes.
Why is there a pen on the floor? Yeah. I think I quite say that a lot at home, to be fair. Why is that on the floor? Because my own daughter sees the floor as that's where things belong. So, that's happened. And this is...
Maybe not have a lid on it. Why is there a pen without a lid on the floor?
Yeah. Or glue. Get your lids on your glue, definitely.
Get your lids on your glue. Or wind your glues down again.
Yeah.
Don't just ram the lid on.
I remember spending ages teaching them how to glue something in, and I'd be like, they go all the way around the edges and then stick it in, because they get the glue and they wind it right up, don't they?
And they go
all over.
It's like this, a big chunk of glue
you've got
on the
big
back
lumps
of it.
on it that you push down in the book, and you want them to look neat. I mean, some teachers will stick everything in for them so it looks neat, but eventually you need to train them.
Yeah, but they do stick them in like that, well. Yeah.
Lopsided. And then this is my last one, and it's my favourite. And if you don't say this, I don't know if you really are a teacher, but get a wet paper towel.
Yeah, get a wet paper towel.
That fixes everything, doesn't it?
It is a cure for everything.
Definitely.
And then if the wet paper towel wasn't working, then you would say, go and see Mrs.
Yeah.
So-and-so. There's always, that TA that you've mentioned, there's always somebody to...
That's probably another top tip, isn't it? Know your first aiders.
Know your first aiders, definitely. I think if you're going into early years or year one, I think you may find yourself saying, stop tapping me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because you get...
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, and you will be called mum or dad at some point, won't you?
Or nana
sometimes. Yeah, you will be called
variety of names.
Oh, it's actually been lovely.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Lovely chatting and reminiscing, and hopefully people can see that even though we're not in the classroom now, the love we still have for
definitely.
it. So, I suppose it's good luck for getting through that September and that first term, particularly if it is your first class, which, like you said, you'll never, ever you'll never ever forget.
Definitely not.
So you've had some good takeaways. Just give me one as a final top takeaway.
Just one word: enjoy.
Enjoy,
You've joined the career of being a teacher. Enjoy it, embrace every moment, and always kind of keep reflecting back on that when it gets tough.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, thank you very much. You're going to join us for our next podcast as well, when we're going to delve a little bit more into that transition between reception in year one and that year one autumn term, because we've talked about it a lot, but we've not had it as a focus.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our next podcast. So if everyone's enjoying it, just remember to like it, share, follow, and just keep listening. So thank you.
Thank you.